In the top stories, a 9-year-old boy recovering after being shot in the head. A call for a clear definition of domestic workers as it relates to free movement in CARICOM. And Barbadian youth urged to find solutions to the problems facing the island. Welcome to Nation News for Monday, March 9, 2015. I'm Natasha Beckles.
No matter where you are in the world, at home or abroad, Nation News keeps you connected with what's happening in Barbados through our website, video newscast, and online e-papers. So stay connected with Nation News. News, your time, your way.
A 9-year-old boy is recovering from a gunshot wound to the head after he was shot in Bridgetown on Saturday. According to police reports, the boy was traveling along Lower Swan Street with his parents and brother when he suddenly clutched his head. Upon realizing he had been injured, the boy's parents reported the incident to police, then took him to the hospital. It was there that the injury was revealed to be a gunshot wound. Police say the boy underwent surgery and is currently resting comfortably as investigations continue. Organizations representing domestic workers and artisans in 5 countries are calling for free movement in their sector to be fully implemented under the CARICOM Single Market and Economy. They have compiled a set of recommendations which will be delivered to Caribbean heads of government, the CARICOM Secretariat, and national governments. General Secretary of Trinidad and Tobago's National Union of Domestic Employees, Ida LeBlanc, says there has to be a clear definition of who is a domestic worker.
If domestic workers, the definition of domestic work and domestic workers is not clearly defined, we will continue to be discriminated against and remain in poverty. And that is the whole intention of this 189, to take women out of poverty.
The initiative is led by the Caribbean Policy Development Center, and the pilot project will start in Guyana, Jamaica, St. Kitts and Nevis, Trinidad and Tobago, and Barbados. Young people in Barbados have been urged to join their peers across the Commonwealth in finding solutions to the problems that they face. The suggestion comes from National Youth Parliament member Saskia Singh and CARICOM Youth Ambassador Mosiah Hoyt. They spoke on Monday during a World Commonwealth Day service at St. Leonard's Anglican Church. Ms. Singh challenged young people to use technology to tackle shared problems like unemployment, violence, and drug abuse. Meantime, Mr. Hoyt noted that the youth have the power to shape and even create policy. On Sunday, more than 75 Barbadians joined members of the police force, defense force, and other emergency groups in a search of Bell Gully, St. Michael. They were looking for a missing man, Signator Holford, who has not been seen since mid-January. Unfortunately, the search was unsuccessful. Mr. Holford's mother, Pamela, says she was grateful for the support, but disappointed that her son was not found. Minister of Education Ronald Jones is appealing to beneficiaries of the Student Revolving Loan Fund to settle their debts so other students can benefit. Speaking during an education fair over the weekend, he said $24 million is owed in arrears and it is placing pressure on the fund.
Now, if people who have benefited, who have gone on to be lawyers, doctors, nurses, dentists, whatever, don't then honor their commitments by paying back the loans, you can get a long job. Other students coming are not going to benefit sufficiently from any surplus funds. And we are now at a stage where surplus funds have in fact substantially diminished. And it's going to put tremendous pressure on the Student Revolving Loan Fund to meet future commitments.
Women's empowerment through entrepreneurship is being touted as one of the main means through which poverty can be reduced in Barbados. The suggestion comes from Undine Whitaker, government's advisor on poverty eradication and the United Nations Millennium Development Goals. Speaking in light of International Women's Day, which was observed on Sunday, she said her office was making some headway in helping women to develop income-generating skills. Olga Martin is the newest member of this island's centenarian club. She celebrated the big day on Sunday, surrounded by family and friends at home. She also received a visit from Governor General Sir Elliot Belgrave. Barbadians are being encouraged to get tested for glaucoma at an earlier age. The advice comes from glaucoma specialist at the Queen Elizabeth Hospital, Dr. Dawn Grosvenor. Speaking following a church service on Sunday to launch Glaucoma Week, she said once the condition is detected early, first-world treatment is available locally.
A lot of people don't realize that glaucoma can be treated with surgery and laser treatment, and the care for glaucoma has to be very individualized because every person's eye is different. And even though the mainstay of treatment is eye drops to control the eye pressure, some people may require laser treatment, some people may require surgery. Some of the surgery is quite complex and high-tech, and we have access to all of that here. So even though our healthcare system might be challenged in some ways, we're still able to provide a very high level of care for that.
And in more health news, a visiting urology professor has been telling Barbadian men not to panic about prostate cancer. Professor Richard Wassersag of the University of British Columbia said more often than not, the tumor is benign and treatment is not required. He said there were even severe disadvantages to rushing to have prostate cancer treated with radiology or surgery, including decreased sexual and urinary function. In sport, embattled President Dave Cameron has been re-elected to head the West Indies Cricket Board for another term. Mr. Cameron defeated Barbadian challenger Joel Garner 8 votes to 4 over the weekend in Jamaica. Mr. Cameron's vice president and running mate Emmanuel Nanton had a similar margin of victory over Trinidadian Baldath Mahabir. The president said following recent challenges with the Cricket Board of India, it was a chance to make West Indies cricket better.
Just like to say on behalf of the Vice President and myself, how humbled we are to be given the opportunity to continue to serve West Indies cricket. It is with great satisfaction and looking forward to really making West Indies cricket much better than we are today.
Mr. Cameron said the first order of business will be communicating with the various stakeholders. And finally, police were called to a luxury hotel in Stockholm last week when a stressed-out badger refused to let staff and guests enter or exit. The animal showed up at the Radisson Blu about 5 a.m. on Friday, and after around 40 minutes of nobody being able to get in or out of the place, employees called police. The badger later left the premises on his own accord. A police spokesman said the badger was probably irritable because he had just been woken up from hibernation. And that's Nation News for Monday. For more, log on to nationnews.com as well as YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. Remember to pick up your Daily Nation on Tuesday or subscribe to our e-paper. Thanks for joining us.